Oscar Bevis for IFL TV in association with MTK Global, back on Zoom again with Dean Whyte again. Dean, massive news coming out of the boxing world. Joshua and Fury seem to have agreed in principle the deal to fight twice in 2021. A lot of hurdles to overcome, but can you just tell me your initial reaction when you saw the announcement?
There was somewhat shock. Low key, I knew and I'd heard they'd been in talks and stuff like that. But it's like it's sort of like a slap in the face, you know. Obviously, Dillian's been mandatory for a very, very long time, and obviously they've been championing to get their shot at whoever the champion was. Before it was Deontay Wilder, then it was Tyson Fury, and you know, it just seems to me that, you know, he's been failed on many different levels, many different people, because literally, look, Eddie's his promoter also, you know what I mean? And obviously Eddie's made the deal with Fury and you know, MTK and so on, and at the same time the WBC's obviously sanctioned the unification fight, and I just feel like on many levels Dillian's been failed by the WBC, who's took his sanctioning fees time and time and time again and had him waiting over 1,000 days and continuing to wait. So it's just all over the shop. Eddie Hearn, no doubt we understand that Joshua is the golden goose, but they must show some form of loyalty, allegiance, and showing that you are the promoter and you're here to try and do as best as you can for both fighters. You know what I mean? And at this junction, I'm not sure if I can put a hand on heart and say that he's done that. But what I will say also, I don't know what he's done behind closed doors and what attempts he has made, if truth be told. But from the outside looking in, looking at it, people, I'm sure, are going to gravitate more towards the fact that he's been waiting such a long time. And they're going to say, listen, he's been failed somewhere. He's been failed by the WBC. He's been failed by his promoter, Eddie Hearn. And literally, he's just there in no man's land now. Well, these that go behind his back and disregard the mandatory position he's been holding for such a long time. Because this is what it is. Are we not respecting mandatories no more? Is there no, respect that you've earned your right to fight for a world title after you beat A, B, C contenders? You know what I mean? It's just unfair. And I'm sure many people will see it the same way. And it is a bit of pill to swallow that they've gone and done it behind the backs of, the team and so on. And then at the same time, I'm sure they're talking to the team saying, we're going to look into it. But they're secretly negotiating the Fury and AJ fight. It's contradicting and many other things.
Yeah, I mean, from a Fury perspective, we heard Daniel Kinahan and MTK are working towards a deal. So from a Fury perspective, avoiding the mandatory to fight Joshua makes sense. You could see why Fury would want to do that. But I understand from a promotional point of view why you may consider that you feel you've been let down.
I hear that. Listen, everyone's got their best interests at heart. Team Fury, Team AJ, Eddie Hearn. This is about money, pure and simple. I'm sure the sanctioning body is going to get more money for this fight. Eddie Hearn's going to get more money for this fight, and so on and so on. And we can continue to go in that vein, but a lot of palms will be greased, and this is the situation we find ourselves in. But yet again, it doesn't ease the fact that Dillian is in a position where he shouldn't be, and it's unfair and it's unjust. How many names in history can we name that's been in this position that they've virtually waited 3 years for a shot at a title? I don't know.
Yeah, I can't rack my brains for an year.
It's just sad, you know what I mean? And I'm sure Dillian's going to keep plugging away because that's what he is. He's a professional. He's a warrior. He's a champion, and he's going to continue grafting until he gets his opportunity. But by no means in the stretch of imagination, he, surely going to be upset. I don't believe he's surprised, at all in the least. Like most of us are not surprised because, I'm sure. Listen, there's no smoke without fire. If you hear whispers that, you know, these guys are in negotiation, there are talks. There are talks, you know.
What about a situation that could occur where Fury, if he beats Wilder, for the third time, should I say, if he beats Wilder, is regarded as a franchise champion by the WBC, and Dillian then fights for a vacant WBC belt?
Do you know what? I kind of mentioned that somewhat in the interview I did a couple of days ago with Umar. I'm not sure what his standpoint on that would be, you know, because I know he wants to fight the best. Me personally, if you're talking about me, I think, you know, these guys have obviously made up their minds, they've got their plans. I wouldn't mind him fighting because I don't want him to be held up and be held up any more than he has been waiting for his opportunity. You know what I mean? So if an opportunity arises that he can fight for, you know, regular world title and so, I'll be more than happy for him to do that. But that's just me. You know what I mean? Me wanting him to get his just deserves. Him wanting him to fight and not be held up or be hinged by what's going on in the politics of boxing and waiting God knows when. Because what are they saying? I'm confused because what I'm read and what I've heard is the rematch, the trilogy with Deontay Wilder is going to be at the end of the year, and that's what top rank Bob Arum said. And then they said they're going to go into the next year, 2021, with a summer showdown against Anthony Joshua. So does that mean they're not going to do the fight in February 2021 with Dillian? Or does that mean they're going to go jump straight past that and go to the Anthony Joshua fight? I didn't hear Dillian's name mentioned anywhere. I didn't see it underlined anywhere in any comments, in any brackets. So I'm only left to assume one of two things. It would be great if, you know, the WBC, you know, made them stick to their guns, let him keep his date in February 2021 and fight for that. But are they going to risk that, you know, taking on such a difficult fight when they know there's big money on the line? So I feel that they're going to try and, not duck, I wouldn't use the word duck, but they're going to try and, you know, make their business without Dillian Whyte in their business, because, hey, Dillian Whyte is the can man, the guy that's coming with the smoke, that wants all contenders and he wants to fight the biggest and baddest and the best ones to get paid for your services. Because, you know, in this time of the career, you want to be paid handsomely to go out and fight the best. So when you look at it like that, you know, I'm sure he wants to go out and fight the best. But I think these guys are looking at it like, well, you know, there's not much reward for fighting such a hard fight like this. You know, so, but look, Joshua's got Pulev to get past. Fury's got Wilder to get past. This is heavyweight boxing. Things can change. I'm sure, you know, many people didn't think Andy Ruiz is going to beat Joshua during the first of last year. And then obviously there was a changing of the guard. So, and then obviously Joshua's come back, which he's done a great job, and he reclaimed his belt, two-time world champion. So, you know, is it possible that Pulev can unhinge or unsettle? Highly unlikely, but it's heavyweight boxing, anything's possible. Can Deontay Wilder come back at the end of the year better than he was in February? I don't know. There's a lot for him to work on, you know. So there's a possibility it could change again, and then that possibly would scupper their plans even further. You know what I mean? But I just feel that it's really sad. I feel like, you know, it's just betrayal after betrayal, really. You know what I mean? I know it might be harsh words, but listen, after 1,000 days waiting, after fighting all these people, after all the odds of fighting the people he shouldn't have been fighting, people said, you know what, he shouldn't fight Joseph Parker. He's the boxer, he's the sticker, he's the former world champion. And he's gone out there and put on a boxing clinical and managed to defeat him. After fighting Rivas, who yet again was an Olympian, who'd beat Andy Ruiz as an amateur and done many things undefeated. And then they said, why are you fighting this guy? You've got your mandatory position. Why wait? So imagine that if he did, imagine if he actually waited and he didn't fight contender after contender. He would have just been on the sidelines, getting old and, you know, not keeping himself in shape and not keeping himself as sharp. Those fights are experience, invaluable experience, if you ask me, gain for him to garner him to go on to fight for a world title when his opportunity comes. But I just feel like, you know what, right now, you know, there's a lot of questions need to be answered. You know, Dillian and the team need to maybe, I don't know, talk to Eddie and see what the position is. You know, talk to the WBC and see what, you know, if there's any enlightenment. But like I said, I believe, you know, like I said, there's been whispers for a while. So this has been in talks. It's still not inked, but you know, they're saying financial terms have been agreed. And normally that's the biggest stumbling block. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Very, very, very disturbing a little bit, to say the least. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine everyone understands the frustration that you and Dillian, Team Whyte are feeling at the moment. I suppose if he does manage to get a vacant WBC shot, at least he's still part of the puzzle. If you're going to put a positive spin on it, if you want an undisputed fight, you're still going to have to fight Dillian if he's got a vacant WBC, because I think people consider not the franchise champion, the WBC champion, as sort of all the belts fights. That makes sense.
No, I hear what you're saying, but you know what, Dillian, it's not to keep him part of the puzzle. He is part of the puzzle. He's right at the top. He's right at the top of the tree, right at the top of the chain, and he deserved, rightly so, to be there after taking on and defeating guys who potentially, in terms of his amateur pedigree and his experience, and he's still learning now, you know, he's done excellent. So in terms of that, you know, he shouldn't, you know, many would say he shouldn't be in this kind of category and being in this mix. And he is doing more so, you know what I mean? He's doing more so, swimming and surviving in there with the big boys who have had great extensive amateur careers, have gone on to be Olympians and done all kind of things, but he's in that party. He's in the mix. He's the one people are kind of, you know, maneuvering around. You know, some might say ducking, some might say maneuvering around, whatever you want to call it. But what it is he's not getting his shot. He just deserves, being mandatory, he deserves his shot more than anyone out there. One of the most improved heavyweight boxers out there, and he needs to. You know what I mean? Look, Tyson Fury came from a 3-year layoff, and he managed to acquire Deontay Wilder fight, procure one quite quickly. And obviously, I know Deontay Wilder and him took that fight believing that they was catching him, you know, in a nice position. But look, he showed them differently. He got a draw, and then he went back and managed to, you know, clinically dispatch the Bronze Bomber. But I'm just saying, listen, it's crazy that Dillian was fighting all this time, stepping up, going up the ladder, building himself as a pay-per-view star, building himself on Sky, only to be basically smacked in the face, and no one pushing, no one championing, no one campaigning for him to get his shot, as they should be. I haven't seen any banners. I haven't seen anyone, you know, like, I haven't seen it. You know, like, we're in the industry, you know what I mean? There's interviews, there's the internet, there's news. I haven't seen anyone campaigning for that. But listen, hey.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see over the next couple of days. Well, I'll say next couple of days. We'll see over the next couple of months how things unfold. Like they said, venue, dates, broadcasters, probably much more than that to still go over. But yeah, like I said, I can understand your and Team Whyte's frustration, and yeah, I'm sure Coogan will get onto Dillian soon, and we'll see what he has to say. But for now, Dean, thanks for giving me some of your time, and
thank you for your time as always, IFL, man. You guys are amazing, doing an amazing job to give coverage to the fans and give me a voice, you know, to kind of say my piece. Do you know what? Just a quick one before you go. What have you heard about, you know, boxing coming back? Because I've heard it was going to be end July, August. Have you heard anything from your side when the first shows Eddie's going to produce?
On a personal level, I know as much as what you hear from Michael Benson on Twitter. Do you know what I mean? And what Eddie said. So you're sort of, yeah, July for Matchroom Fight Camp. MTK said they're going to bring shows in through July, August, and yeah, I just want to get back to it. It's just doing my head in. I can smash my head against this wall here, honestly.
Everyone wants to get back to what they love, man. You know, the sport we're so passionate about, and I'm sure the fans want to, you know, can't wait to get back in an arena. And once all of this is over, just like myself, you know what I mean. But yeah, I was just curious because obviously I hear stuff and hear bits from obviously the team and other stuff, but you know, sometimes other people hear other whispers. So you know, I was just checking. But yeah, again, thank you as always.